OK, Luton are looking to return to the top flight of English football for the first time since 1992. The Hatters were promoted from the National League in 2014, so they've been on quite some journey since then. Joining us now, Luton's Chief Executive Officer, it's Gary Sweet. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Gary.
Morning, boys and girls.
Oh, Gary, thanks for joining us. Let's talk about this. How proud are you?
Oh, immensely proud. I'm, more than anything else, I'm proud of the players and the way they ran last night. They were so good.
Yeah,
Gary, I was looking at, and I mentioned earlier on, probably far too early for them. It's about 6 o'clock, and everybody's been wrapped up in the Wrexham story, which I've got to say is a brilliant story, and the Hollywood factor, and the boys have, in my opinion, have done everything really, really well. You know, they've got the whole community. However, as stories go and Hollywood stories go, I've got to say Luton the last 10 years is nothing short of magnificent.
Yeah, look, the Wrexham story is fantastic, and congratulations to them. Ours is different. We don't mind being a little bit under the radar, Ali. To be honest, it's kind of a little bit about us. We're sort of quite humble people. We're a humble club. Just do things honestly and expect other people to talk about us when they're ready, not really when we're ready.
I wanted to ask you about Rob Edwards. You know, he joined in November 2022. 31 games, 16 wins. 10 draws, 5 losses. How has he been as a manager? And was he the perfect appointment for you?
Gabby, he's been magnificent. Rob has just epitomised everything that is about us, Luton Town. He's just a straight, honest character. I think you know him. He's just a straight, honest character. He's a wonderful human being. I'm really proud of that he represents us in this way. The way he's got the lads who were doing well, doing really well under Nathan, and a little bit of respect for Nathan for his contribution to what we've achieved so far as well, by the way. But Rob upturned that. He the tick upturned, and he's just pushed us forward a little bit more, got us playing with a bit more control, little bit of variation, as you saw last night. We're able to play in different ways, and Rob's just not just Rob, but Richie and Paul. Richie and Paul came in with him, have done fantastic job since they've joined us.
Gary, talk to us about that journey since the National League in 2014 and what you feel has been the secret to success continuing to rise.
It's hard to put finger on it, Laura. Really, it's a number of things, and I think it's really just about our culture. The culture that this started really back in 2008 when we got a 30-point deduction. It's really hard to copy us, because if you want to copy us, get a 30-point deduction and go into the conference for 5 years. That's a good starting point, because that creates who we are, and there's a massive polite siege mentality about what we do, and we are, as a group, and this is all about the 10,000 supporters that were in attendance last night were also absolutely magnificent. But you could tell it was like one embryo working together. It was one club, and that stems back 15 years. So it's about the culmination of how we've built the culture over that period, and how that our football club works completely together, with the town backing us. Supporters. We're in a massive Asian area of Luton, and just as supporters were leaving last night, there were all the Asians were partying as well with us. We're just one embryo that works together, and that's the thing as well that I'm so proud about. It's great for the town.
I have to say as well, Faye Carruthers, who is our beloved reporter here at talkSPORT and presenter, and obviously is just a massive Luton Town fan, she said she's buzzing that you're on this morning for a start, and she was there last night, and she said it was the loudest she's ever heard Kenilworth Road. Incredible atmosphere. She says the club is so special. Gary, I've got to ask though about the pitch invasion and try and discourage it and ask your thoughts. What are you expecting? You expecting a fan? A fine, not a fan, because there were lots of those.
Yeah, no, of course we're expecting some kind of repercussion, but the most important thing for us was, our objectives, that it's going to be impossible to stop a pitch invasion unless we have, 8,000 stewards. You're not going to stop it. So our objective was to keep the supporters, away and home supporters, apart, which we did, protect the players, which we did, and then just allow people to enjoy themselves without really trouble. So I think we've ticked those boxes. They did come on. There was no trouble. No. There weren't scenes that you saw in some grounds last year where some players were abused and home and away supporters were there's actually quite a bit of respect between the two sets of fans. Actually, it was in some ways quite good to see.
Do you almost feel like, and I have to ask this as well, do you almost feel like you've got to discourage it in some way and say, look, I know everyone was excited, but we don't condone it. We don't want you to do it, sort of thing.
We have to. We've frankly been told to do that. So it was our duty to try and stop people from coming on the pitch. Which we did. We did that before the game, during the game. So we did everything possible. I think, in some ways, the best way to do it is to probably allow them to come on the pitch at the right time, delay the event, get players off, and allow everybody to go on the pitch. It's become a bit of an institution around, football stadiums everywhere on the last game of the season now.
Yeah.
So it happens really everywhere. So I think it's going to be difficult to avoid that event. At the end of the season, especially when you win a game like that last night. In the situation that we won it last night, it was full of energy, and supporters have got energy. It's all pent up. So we kind of knew they were always going to do it. It's just how we managed it, and I think I was quite pleased with that.
Gary, we'll let you go, but
Gary, best of luck in the final, mate.
Gary.
Cheers, boys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.